Welcome to My Hometown, the program that explores clubs, organizations, businesses, and issues across Nassau and Suffolk counties and sheds light on the different towns that are making a difference.
Hello and welcome to My Hometown. I'm Bill Horan, along with my co-host, Stacy Raine.
Bill, are you an animal lover?
Most definitely.
Me too. I've been known to rescue a dog or cat a time or two. But Bill, we live in a world where the love of animals knows no bounds, and our guest today takes that spirit and puts pen to paper in her first ever children's book. Theodor Says, Dogs Are People Too.
Let's meet Maria Dello, Long Island-based published author, seasoned nutritionist, and a true friend to dogs. Beyond her professional endeavors, Maria dedicates her free time to rescue work and puppy obedience training classes. She believes that dogs deserve the best. Maria, welcome to My Hometown on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Now, you've had a very varied career. You're a nutritionist, an animal lover. What else do you do? Are you a ballet dancer? Do you, work with the Mets?
Not yet, but maybe.
Okay, that's
maybe.
in the future?
It's in the future. We never know.
Which one takes precedence? Is it your nutrition work?
Basically, I'm a nutritionist for 25 years in Nassau County. And, we always evolve through our career. And what happened was basically in 2019, when, pandemic was kind of just starting, and my last German Shepherd passed. And he was 14. And then I just said, let me take a break, not quite ready to get a dog yet. And during that time, I was seeing patients virtually and, in person. And then also, they were telling me during the pandemic, they were getting all these dogs. If you remember, everyone was rescuing or buying a dog because everyone was home. Mm. So at that point, I was asked to help with training and nutrition. And nutrition is not only just for people, it's for dogs too. They, I think the title says it right. Yeah. Dogs are people too. And what happens is they get everything humans get. And what's incredible, as all my patients had dogs and puppies, they would get an earache or itchy skin or behavioral issues. And they say, hey, Maria, can you help me with this? And I said, sure. And at the time I was in school for training and studying nutrition for dogs. And then at one point I said, hey, it's about time I get my own puppy, which I did. And that's Theodor. And then what happened was Theodor sent a message to me, said, hey, you got to write this book because, I'm doing all the right things with my dog, but some people don't do all those things. So eventually, people went back to work. They trickled back to work, and then I'd say, "Hey, what about that dog you got?" Like, "Oh, he ate the couch, and I had to return him." And I said, "Oh, gosh." And so, through education, through training, and through awareness, I was able to teach these people that dogs are people too. They get lonely. They can't be created, 14 hours a day. They need, they feel sad. They have all the emotions that humans have, right? When we leave, exactly. They miss us. And so I said to myself, where can I start? Mm-hmm. And I believed one of the reasons why I just love animals, all animals, is that I grew up with animals in the house. Mm-hmm. And I said, what a perfect way to start is teach and educate our youth, our young people. And so many people tell me, they say, oh, I wish I had this book when my son was asking for that dog. So it's a great educational book, but also it's a super happy book, and it's really sending a fabulous message.
That's great.
Well, I got a chance to read this book with my kids, and I have a toddler who just dog. He's just excited to see the pictures, which are great. Mm-hmm. And then my seven-year-old and I read it, and he really enjoyed Theodor and talking about each scene that was happening in the book. So tell our listeners a little bit about how you went about writing this book. What made you decide, or what went into the book itself?
Yeah, it took quite a while to get the illustrations in and work with an illustrator. And I thought, I really wanted to capture all aspects of care for the animal. They need fresh water. They need the right foods, the right diet. And they sometimes, when they go to grandma's house, they may get a cookie, and maybe that gives them a bellyache and they have to go to the vet. So all the things that goes into an animal really needs to be addressed. That's why I said to myself in the book. And it was so nice to share. And even training, training is so important. I feel like people give up on animals too much. Oh, he ran out the fence. And so they say, well, he's too hyper and he ripped up all the shoes. And so it's really about us learning, educating, teaching the kids. And not only that, the children, learn compassion. And by the way, it's basically they learn structure. And it's really the ultimate discipline, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So no matter in the morning, no matter how tired you are, if you didn't sleep all night, you still got to get up and walk the dog. You still got to give them, structure and, even mental stimulation too. They need, affection as well.
It's certainly a responsibility to care for an animal,
right?
Making sure
Absolutely.
that it gets all the things that it needs. And a lot of people don't realize they also need exercise. They need food and water, sure, and pets, but they also do want to go on walks. That's one thing we talk to my kids about a lot is, the dog deserves to get outside and go on a walk.
Right. And I think it also teaches structure, companionship, empathy, all these great feelings. I remember as a kid, we also had rabbits. And I remember, one would get sick and I would, be giving an eyedropper of liquid to it. So it's really fabulous to teach the children at a young age.
Yeah.
I think there's a couple of studies too, though. Mm-hmm. Don't dog owners actually live longer than non-dog owners?
Oh, 100%. I'm so happy that you asked this because the health benefits of owning a dog is just beyond. Do you know that after a cardiac event in the hospital, you have a higher rate of coming home, rather if you have a dog at home? I think it's 33%. It's great for your blood pressure reduces. I have a mom that's 96, okay? And I tell you, she has a little bit of a hypertension. And when she rubs Theodore, her blood pressure just reduces by 20 points.
Isn't that amazing?
It's so amazing. I mean, the health benefits, even just we release oxytocin, and so do they. So there's so many health benefits, the soothing, the calm, it reduces anxiety. So the list goes on.
We should put a little prescription sign on their collar, what this dog is good for, so-and-so, if you have heart disease or
100%.
whatever.
It reduces cholesterol, blood pressure. I mean, it's even great for hyperactivity with children, right? I mean, think about how soothing it is. And not only that, dogs are used for centuries in so many capacities in the military. Think about what they do there, right? I mean, there's a reason why. Think about how they, for therapy dogs, right? For kids. I mean, I was just watching a video yesterday that there was a Great Dane that was helping service a handicapped girl. And I mean, she said she was so young. I think she was about 8. She said, oh, he saved me and I saved him. Because he had a little disability as well. But it was amazing that how she leaned on him and walked. And so many ways these dogs are really helping out people. And they make us feel so happy, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Truly. Yeah, I saw a story the other day about a dog who was able to notify its owner before a seizure began. So she was able to get herself to safety. I mean, they're just incredible, the things that they know before we do.
Right. And then study after study is showing that, now they can even detect cancer.
Yes.
And even coronavirus back in the day, it was amazing what they do for the blind.
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible. Do you have a dog?
I did. Unfortunately, my dog passed away just before Christmas. It was
sorry to hear that.
Tough time. So we're in that phase where we're kind of like, I think we might be ready for a dog. So
okay, what kind are you going to get?
We always rescue. So who knows?
Okay.
You just never know. But my kids had fun just reading about the dog in the book. So Theodore, can you tell us a little bit about him?
Yeah, Theodore's fantastic. He's robust, he's sweet, compassionate, and very kind, But the other thing I wanted to say is that when I know you're going to be shopping for a dog or rescuing a dog soon, and that's very important too when getting a dog, because you really have to match your say your lifestyle, right? If you're a very active person and you're running and biking and walking and hiking and all these activities, you want to get a dog that's has a little pep to his step, right?
Right.
And so you want to maybe get like a working breed, right? So it's really vital for people to really look into what type of dog. There's the working class, there's lap dogs, right? So there's all types of dogs, and it's very important. Let's say my aunt had a dog, a Lhasa Apso. She was elderly, she was in her 80s, but you know what? It was great for her because it just sat in the lap, very low key, So it's really important to do your homework and study the breeds, So I think all these things will reduce, bringing back the dog to the rescue. If you do this checkbox,
Yep.
Do you have a backyard? Or are you able to walk your dog? Are you, some dogs, some dogs are not great with kids, and so you wouldn't want to go get a Malinois, right? Right.
Yeah, you have to be very careful. And a lot of the good rescues will really work hard to try to match the dog to the family, which I know about that. So I'm going to remind our listeners that you're listening to My Hometown on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I'm Stacy Raine here with Bill Horan, and today we are talking with Maria Dello, a Long Island-based published author, seasoned nutritionist, and a true friend to dogs. Her new children's book is titled Theodor Says, Dogs Are People Too.
Maria, I have to ask you now, Theodore
Sure.
I'm thinking it's the first time I've probably come across a dog named Theodore, so there must be a story behind the name Theodore.
Yes. Well, if you look into Theodore in Latin, it means gift from God, actually. So, and you drop the E. That's why there's no E on the name. But yeah, and I think it's in Greek or Latin, I believe, that gift from God. I waited a while, and I said, I want to be put that energy out there. I want a nice match with my lifestyle, and lo and behold, I got him. But yeah, I mean, you have to do the checkbox. You have to do your homework, and I think even nutrition. I mean, I'm a nutritionist, so that even just going food shopping for animals, it's great to read the labels. I mean, I'll just tell you a funny example is on, I think it was Instagram the other day. There was an Instagram girl who has a dog, and she's going shopping, and apparently they made a cereal for dogs, and it has all these colorings in and byproducts and cornstarch and cane sugar, and I just couldn't believe it. So I'm into the raw food diet. And that's what dogs apparently started on, thousands of years ago. So I never really chime in with the comments. And I said, these ingredients are not the best for dogs, and they could cause some health issues, down the road. It was like sort of a mock-up of Fruit Loops, and I couldn't believe it. The advertising on the cereal box for dogs was incredible, and it was probably like, oh wow, my dog would like that. But you really have to read. You have to do some homework because that can't be good for dogs.
Yeah, but It's playing to people who want to spoil their animals. Like, oh, a cereal for my dog. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Right?
How did you feed your dog?
We just went with high quality food. We had worked with, asked our vet for recommendations and things like that. So any food that had the clear ingredients, had a protein first is what they always told us. So.
Right. That's great.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's a good theory. Protein. I never thought of that, but that's makes
protein
sense.
First. So tell us about the human main character in the book. Is that you?
Yeah, that is me with the hat. Actually, I have that hat, and to be honest with you,
Dog Mom.
Dog Mom, there you go. And it actually comes from a live picture. The audience won't be able to see it, but it does come from a live picture. And it is in the book. Actually, the picture is in the book.
Yeah.
And so we just try to duplicate that. Yep. But, now I was just reading that the rescues are overloaded, especially in Los Angeles, California, and so it is a true commitment, but it is fantastic. I mean, the benefits, and I think one of the things is nutrition with dogs. It's really vital to look into the ingredients. I mean, Theodore had the shiniest coat you could ever imagine. It was like glossy, and my friend came over and he said, "Oh, what are you giving him?" I was hand feeding him vitamins. He's like, "Wow, you give your dog vitamins?" I said, "Absolutely." And if you think of the history of animals, in the wolf, right? The wolf's an incredible animal, and they ate the whole rabbit. They went hunting, right? And they got all those nutrients. And what did the rabbit eat? They ate the grass and so forth. So got the omegas, and it makes a difference, with veterinarian care as well. I remember as a kid growing up, I don't think my parents took the dogs too much to the vet. It was once in a while, but nowadays, we're really on top of that. We gauge. So I think through nutrition, it's, maybe prevent a vet bill here and there, right?
Exactly. No, that's what we're looking for.
Yeah.
Now, are there any personal experiences with Theodore and you in the book, or have you worked around that, or did you sneak those in?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of, like I was saying, like, what do I do with Theodore every day? We train, we walk, he has to get nutrition. And one of the scenes there is Grandma and Grandpa were giving him a cookie. And then the next page, I believe, he goes to the vet. So very often I keep Theodore on a kind of a strict, program and very structured and a certain diet, right? And I'm pretty picky with that. But then I'd go to Grandma's house, and what are they doing? They're giving him, give him a cookie or give him this or lots of table food. And then I would take him home and I'd say, "No, Mom, Dad, he can't eat that, And then the next day, lo and behold, he has a tummy ache. So, sometimes humans think that food is love, but they have a different diet and different digestive system than we do.
Right. So tell me what your favorite part of the book is. Do you have a favorite little scene? Because there's a lot of different scenes about Theodore and the parts of his day, as you were saying. So what's your favorite one?
Right. I think that the cutest scene there is that they're all sitting on the couch and they're all watching TV. And that really kind of implements that, he is a part of the family. I just want to send the message that dogs are a part of the family.
Right.
They are, they have all the same feelings. But the nice thing about a dog is like, let's say he rips up your shoe or something. You say, "Oh, bad dog," right? When that dog sees you the next day, or the following 5 minutes, he's gonna still love you, kiss you, and hug you. And the patience they have, with children.
Yes.
I mean, they're so, I want to say forgiving, right? I don't know if your kids pulled the dog's tail or sat on him. I see so many videos on YouTube and I go, "Oh, the poor dog."
Yep.
And I feel sorry for them. But they really become, there's another scene there. They're all taking a road trip, right?
Right.
I mean, whenever I go on a trip, I say, "Well, what hotel takes dogs, right? What trip can we include Theodore?" And so that's the nice thing about it. Did you ever take your dog on a trip?
Oh, yeah. No, when we go on trips where it's what do you call it, dog friendly, I guess.
Yes,
so we have to check that first. But yes, we take them. Daisy goes with us. And I think she takes us. I think that's how it goes, not that we take her. It's
That's great.
I'm coming.
That's great. And if you ever notice, if you ever, say, got a babysitter for your dog, or maybe you took him to daycare, the dog sometimes won't eat. And guess what? He's depressed. He's sad.
He misses you. He doesn't understand what's going on. Yeah.
And, if you ever really look in their eyes, I mean, they look at you, they just exude love all the time. They just love us so much. So I'm going to just do all the check boxes for a family to get a dog. Go rescue, go learn, call me. I'm an excellent trainer. I'll give you a training lesson for free if you want the first time, just to be committed to the dog. And then we can even go over nutrition too.
Yeah.
So it's so important.
Yeah, I know people think, oh, I'll just get a puppy and they'll grow up with us. And it's like, well, a puppy needs a lot of training. So any dog needs training, but puppies, they're not really born knowing how you want them to act. You have to train them. So
I just got a call yesterday, and this client of mine got a new dog, and what happened was the first night, dog started crying, and then all of a sudden she says, "Oh, I let it sleep in the bed." I'm like, "Oh, that's like the biggest rule of no," And then what happened was I said, "You really have to crate train her, because now you've just sent a message to her like, I can pretty much do whatever I want." Sleep in the bed. And I said, don't you and your husband afraid of rolling over on it? And no, we're so careful. And 3 days later, she called me. She's like, oh my God, you were so right. I had to put it in the crate. Now she's crate training it. Yeah. So it's interesting.
I have to tell you a funny side story. We had a Pomeranian Maltese, which is about 3 pounds, and the dog slept in the bed. But, in the middle of the night when you pull the quilts, and all of a sudden, I saw something like a rocket flying over me. I had pulled the quilts.
Oh,
and
my
this 3-pound dog went flying in the air.
Oh, my God.
Not too far, only about 2 or 3 feet, still landed in the bed.
Still in the bed.
But
still in a soft
landing.
landing.
What is it? And then all of a sudden, in the slow process, as you're waking up, it dawned on me, that's our little Bailey flying in the air.
Aw.
Well, I'm going to remind our listeners that you are listening to My Hometown on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I'm Stacy Raine here with Bill Horan, and today we're talking with Maria Dello, a Long Island-based published author, seasoned nutritionist, and a true friend to dogs. Her new children's book is titled Theodor Says, Dogs Are People Too. So Theodor did not sleep in the bed, I'm guessing.
No. I always say, like, the first year, I think it's important to really implement those rules because, it sends a message. They want to please us and work for us, but they're also silly, right? They're young. The first year, it takes 2 years to really bond with an animal. So I always say, if you're thinking about getting a puppy, call me. I work with people prior. We safeguard the house. Don't forget, right? We just like children, hide the wires, and they chew on things, right? And a lot of things,
especially puppies,
right? They can be, they can get into all kinds of things. And I just had another client call yesterday too, and she's saying, my puppy's, I think he's a shark. He's biting my hands,
Yeah.
But what she didn't realize is at that age they're teething.
Right.
So
exactly.
It's so important to they can't tell you, hey, Mom, my gums are killing me, and then, I need something to chew to ease that. Right.
Yeah.
So what I recommended with some ice cubes, right? And then I also give classes on homemade treats, dog treats. And we have these little molds, and we make, we put peanut butter and goat milk. And you ever try? It's a great exercise with kids. But the nice thing about it, those they're frozen, so they also soothe the gums as well. So it's really interesting. And you can even make like a fruit bowl with a bowl and put water in there, and the dog can drink the water. That's very soothing. So really important to take note on all of that and speak with someone just to. If you're thinking about it, what kind of dog, how should you safeguard your house, what to feed their dog. And guess what? Different breeds should eat certain different types of foods, You also
have to think, one of the things that, as I've been thinking about what dog we're going to get next, I think about, I want a walking partner. I love to walk. I want a dog who is good with kids, which is really important, obviously. One that, that needs the space to run around because we have it. But also, do you want a dog who is a high barker? There are some dogs that bark more than others.
Right.
So that's another one that people often forget is you have to remember that they're vocal as well.
Absolutely.
Or not,
I mean, some you just said, if they're good with kids, maybe you would look at the retrievers, the labs, or the the yellow ones, or the golden retrievers. Those are. Or if you live by water, maybe you want a Chesapeake dog or retriever. So you really have to match. And it's really important. But the other thing I see online a lot is on Facebook especially is lost dogs, right? That drives me crazy. I see that they take a picture and they say, "Oh, dog's missing and it ran away." And I get it. There could be a fence that opened up, or by accident someone opened the door. But it's so important to either chip your dog. I always have a collar that says Theo and my phone number. Right. Because a lot of times they get the dog and then it's like, wait, who's? And then they repost it. And I think, sometimes I can't believe the dog doesn't get hit because the roads are so trafficky,
Oh, yeah. It
can
be really scary.
Absolutely. In fact, that's a great point because it does happen and a dog gets away and they think they're having, I guess, a little fun to take a run down the block. Luckily, I had a stupid dog. She would run into the neighbor's garage and we would just go over there and say, "Come on with us. We're going back home." But a lot of dogs that want to get out, smell other, I guess, areas, etc.
Right.
And then when you're chasing them, it becomes a game.
Yes.
My dog found her way out of a fence once and she went to my neighbor's house, walked in her kitchen and asked her what she was cooking because it smelled good.
And then did she stay for dinner? Did she
She stayed. She said, "I'm not going back to Mom's house."
She was good. Yeah, she loved everybody there. So they were happy to see her, but she had her collar on, so they called me.
Oh, great. What kind of collar? The number?
We have our phone number and her name on there. So
it happens all the time.
She was so friendly. She had to go up and meet people. So they always,
And it's important. So you said friendly. It's important to socialize your dog. I mean, I think at 8 weeks I was taking Theo to supermarkets and Home Depot and everywhere because I wanted the interaction with other people.
Right.
I mean, shepherds sometimes can be a little overprotective, if you will. I mean, that's what they do. They do guarding. But it is important to all dogs to socialize and understand that, maybe if your child's friend may come in, are they going to be okay with that? And then also teach your kids and teach other people that are meeting your dogs, you get this a lot, "Oh, is your dog friendly? Can I pet him?" Teach the boundaries.
Right.
Some dogs just don't want to be petted.
Right.
Or
always ask. I always ask.
I love this
owner.
one when you're walking your dog and someone's coming towards you and that dog is pulling them and they go, "Your dog's friendly, right? Hey." And I'm like, and it's funny, not to be a dog snob, but I always say no because I've seen situation and growls or fights where could have been prevented, and most of the time it's from the owner. I mean, there could just be a different smell that the other dog doesn't like, and before you know it, your leashes are entangled, and it could have been prevented. So, and learning the body language of your animal.
Right.
How is the tail faced, and the ears up, and is the hair in the back up? So all these things.
When those things happening, I get out of the way.
Oh gosh,
it's going to be a problem.
I mean,
Maria, unfortunately, we're having fun, but the time goes so quickly. We want to remind our audience, our guest today has been Maria Dello, Dello. She's a Long Island-based published author, seasoned nutritionist, and a true friend to dogs. And her new children's book is Theodor Says, Dogs Are People Too. Maria, thanks for being with us
Thank you
today.
so much. And they can all go on the website, Theodor Says, Dogs Are People Too, to see more information.
Perfect. Thanks. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
I'm Bill Horan. I'm here with Stacy Raine. We thank you for listening to this week's edition of My Hometown.
We like to get your feedback on My Hometown. Send your comments to WHPC at ncc.edu. Nassau Community College, where success starts and continues. Till next time, this is Bill St. James. And remember, there's no town like your hometown.